Well, how are we? We're scratching our heads trying to understand what we've just witnessed. Sort of wondering, have the Sri Lankans been spooked by a spinning surface? Why is it that the best player of spin on show is a man who doesn't face that much of it in England? And the Sri Lankans have not acquitted themselves well this morning. Leach starts the first over of the day to Pereira, drops forward in defence, pushes in the offside, no run. Now Pereira did bat solidly, batted very intelligently in the first innings. You mentioned, Phil Tufnell, that as an off-spinner he was trying to eke out as much time as possible out there, trying to get that pitch to deteriorate. He'll be having similar thoughts here now, won't he? As he comes forward, gets a thick inside edge, it squeezes down to short fine leg, and there's no run.
Well, he'll want to be having a bowl on it. He'll want
probably
to
not just yet.
No, not just yet, because you want to have a sort of a longer bowl and get yourself some wickets, because it really is in the spin bowler's favour. So he'll be doing his best. He'll want at least 150 to bowl at.
Leach in, 2 slips also in, and he comes forward, defends very well into the covers. There's no run. If you are just joining us, an insane morning session. England took more wickets than they scored runs. They were bowled out after scoring 5 further runs, for a total of 344. Leach in, ball hit high in the air, it's gone out over long off, and it's going to clear the fielder, but plugs slightly. It bounces once, and Best running back from wide long off retrieves, throws back in. They pick up 2 more, so Pereira, who had just very sensibly propped forward onto the front foot to defend the first 3 balls, comes dancing down the wicket. That skews perilously close to Dom Best, just over his shoulder, about 2 or 3 yards away from him.
Just got it, didn't he?
Best and Leach have got exactly the same disappointed expression, where they cross their arms over their head, onto their heads. Leach in, back into his crease goes Pereira, and plays that well, rather root-like, into the onside. Fielded out the deep mid-wicket boundary.
Well, I was liking your pickle theory.
Pickle theory, yeah. The
pickle theory.
Well, we've got to give credit to Johnny Barron for he invented the name of the pickle theory.
Yes, I like it.
Pickle theory.
And they have got themselves in a pickle, as you say, not quite knowing whether to stick or twist. And that's what happens when you lose early wickets, that sort of the jitters. And you don't quite know where you're going to see the next 20 or 30 runs coming from. So you decide to have a bit of a whack, and it doesn't come off.
Mendes faces his first ball after lunch and cuts it, goes back into his crease, cuts it to Curran at point. No run, 3 from the over. Sri Lanka 70 for 6, Pereira 4, Mendes 11, the lead 107. Yes, the pickle theory, if you're wondering.
Yeah, nice.
Is that theory that you approach your second innings, the third innings of the match, with a lead, not a
smallish
huge
one.
lead.
Yeah, he says smallish.
Not a big lead. So you're ahead of the game, but you're in danger of collapsing in a heap and suddenly giving the momentum back to your opponents. You don't know whether to dig in and just use up time or try to get on with it, especially when you need to win. And we've got to remember, Sri Lanka began this innings needing to win, so there was method, but it was madness.
Yeah, it was kamikaze-like, wasn't it? I mean, I think it was 5 out of the 6 wickets going to attacking shots. Listen, you've got to try and get some runs on the board, but there are, it's not a shotter ball. It was almost becoming a shotter ball, wasn't it?
Well, wasn't Dick Willow?
Chandimal just kept trying to hack it over mid-wicket to the left off the left-arm spinner.
He played 1 forward defensive shot that spun past the outside edge, exactly, and he got so spooked. We then tried to smash everything over deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, cool heads are required when you're batting.
Bess has 3 for 22. Comes in, down the wicket comes Pereira and drives straight back at Bess. Fields of his own bowling, no run. So Pereira, he's played himself in with 3 sighters. I think over the lunch break they've discussed their tactics in the first session and said, what do you think? Let's keep going.
Shall we go back to the shotter ball theory that we tried before?
Yeah, play yourself in for 2 or 3 balls, but listen, and then go absolutely berserk.
But having said that, I mean, you're now down into the bowlers, aren't you? And sometimes it is best if you've got a bit of talent.
Slip in, short leg, and that turns sharply, bounces a little, and Pereira just stays at the crease and manages to play it safely into the onside to short mid-wicket, no run.
It's the batsman's job with some technique to be able to hang around and not, get yourself in and knock the ball around, get 1s and 2s, not necessarily the bowlers.
Absolutely. Bess in, flicked away and taken towards a short leg. He's done it again. I think it's Crawley at short leg has done him again. Pereira off the full face of the bat, flicking Bess straight to Crawley, who's got a big smile on his face. He can't believe it. Chandimal can't believe it either. He's what? How has this happened? We'll take a look at it again. Best, it dipped slightly, but he's middled it straight at Crawley. And again, great technique. He stayed down, didn't flinch, didn't move a muscle, and just took it with both hands right between his legs, about a foot off the ground, if that. So Sri Lanka have lost their 7th wicket. They're 70 for 7, and the man who'd been so durable in that first innings, Dilruwan Perera, has just given Bess his 4th wicket, caught by Crawley at short leg.
Well, this is looking like a team of which Sri Lanka are, devoid of confidence, isn't it? They just don't quite know how to go about the business. And we've got Lakmal coming in now, who's I wouldn't say he's a walking wicket, but on this kind of pitch, if I was a spin bowler, you are just absolutely licking your lips. Now they're even middling them to the fielders now. Usually the short leg, gets a little inside edge onto a pad and it pops up, and you're diving and leaping around trying to hoover up the catch. But you're just standing there, and they're just gliding it off the middle of the bat straight into Crawley's hand. So another great wicket for England. I mean, Sri Lanka will be in a world of pain mentally now. They'll have just been going, we've done really well to get back into this game and get into a position of strength, and we're just throwing it away. And that comes down a little bit to confidence, isn't it? And you haven't sort of developing a method to eke out situations that get you in winning positions. And that's a big wicket, actually, because you're right, he played very well, Perera, in that first down. 67 I think he got, and he had a good mix of attack and defence. But everyone's they just sort of like a moth to a flame, just attracted to the ball. I've got to hit it, I've got to score, otherwise we're all going to be all out.
Is that unlucky in any way? Because he has hit it off the full face of bat, but it's straight. I mean, the fielder's there.
Exactly.
He's caught one of them before.
Yeah.
Bess, he's got Lakmal to bowl at, and Lakmal defends from the crease, pushes it to the offside, no run. Now, there may be a perception that Lakmal isn't the best batter, but I want Andy Zaltzman just to take a little look at that, because my feeling is he might have got a little bit more obdurate towards the back end of his career. He's a former captain. He's not wearing a helmet. He's got his cap on. I wonder if he's going to dig in here for Sri Lanka. Bess into him. That spins sharply back into him. He's stuck on the crease. Playing French cricket, really, both feet pointing back at the bowler. Gets the bat on it. If he hadn't, he was stone dead bang in front.
It's almost a half volley there.
But he's not gone for the slog yet.
No, but you can feel it.
There's a leg slip, forward short leg, and a slip in. He's pulled this and hit it either into the ground or off Crawley. I need to see a replay of that. The throw comes in from Curran on the deep mid-wicket boundary. They've taken the single. Lakmal will be on strike. 71 for 7. I'm presuming England will still continue with the spinners, although the temptation to fling Mark Wood at him might get strong. But
no, not yet.
Just go after it.
No, exactly.
So a wicket in the second over after lunch.
Amazing.
Things are happening so quickly. Amazing. It's extraordinary. And Sri Lanka 71 for 7. The lead 108. I've got an email.
Lovely.
From Tom Clegg, who says, "Dear all at TMS,
yes,
writing from my slowly warming narrowboat in Banbury."
It would be slowly warming a narrowboat in this weather.
Would be.
You'd have to get the stove on, wouldn't you?
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, and get the breakfast on as well. I think a big fry up. Turn on all colour gas heaters, or other gas may be available, I'm not sure. Joining you all early doors for this and the last test has been a delight. As Leach is in, punched off the back foot to short extra by Lakmal. Throughout both matches, I've been calling the nursing home in Lancashire, at which my dad is a resident, and politely asking the excellent staff if they're able to pop TMS on his radio. Come back to it in a minute. Leach in, 2 slips. Lakmal pots forward, defends back at the wicket, no rush. As a lifelong cricket and TMS lover, he will be enjoying it very much, and will hopefully be offering him some degree of familiarity as he continues his battle with dementia. Having not been able to see him for many months now, knowing that we are both listening to the same familiar voices describing this exciting and balmy scene in Gaul brings a great amount of pleasure and comfort. Here's Leach. Lakmal goes back into his crease, but manages to jab his back down on it at the last minute to work it to wide mid-wicket Anderson field to get a single. 72 for 7. Finishes by saying, "I'm sure that your superb broadcast will be providing a connection for many people who can't be together in these distinctly unusual times. Thanks, and warmth, Tom Clegg. Well, Tom, we send our absolute best. We hope that you and your dad are listening and being connected in that way. Leach in, sweep, a vigorous sweep from Mendes, going to run to the boundary for 4, super shot. Mendes did that off his first ball. He got a duck in his first innings in Test cricket, which was the first innings of this match, and it showed no nerves, did he? He went for the sweep of his first ball, hit it for 4, and he's got a little edgy, or maybe he's just hitting that up, going from down to up. But he's got 4 for it, 4 valuable runs for Sri Lanka.
Every run is so valuable. I think that now he's got to take the lead. He's in there as the all-rounder, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit like Mark Wood decided when he was batting, you know, Joe Root's on 170. Perhaps let it Joe Root do the hitting.
Leach in, goes for the sweep again.
Got him.
Up in the air, caught at short leg. No, says Dharmasena, not out. I think they may refer this for the LBW.
Yeah, straight away.
If it's not hit an edge, he went for the sweep. It ballooned in the air and was taken very comfortably at sort of gully region, silly point.
The review for catch.
Now the review's for the catch, but they'll have to check the LBW as well. It was very full. There was a flurry of bat, gloves, arms. England seemed fairly sure they got their man here. Let's take a look. No, it's come off the forearm.
And probably
missing. I don't think it's hit the bat. It's definitely forearm.
The bicep.
Bicep, absolutely, yeah, not forearm. It's gone beyond that. And then just ballooned really gently. It's missed everything. They're going to have to check to see if it just brushed the glove. No, it's missed the glove. It's rolled up. Might be going over the top for LBW, so I think Pereira's going to get away with this, is my feeling.
Got a good stride out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hands and bat right out. That's the way to play the sweep. Checking the LBW.
As you can hear, it's Lyndon Hannibal is the third umpire.
Yeah.
No, that's a horse. I can't do an elephant. Oh.
Isn't that
what elephants do?
Oh, I was thinking of the other fellow.
Oh, Hannibal Lecter, obviously, yes. With a nice Chianti. Yeah. Here we go. Right, next going to turn. It's impact umpire's calls missing considerably. A lot of turn there. And there's a puff of dust as well.
Oh, yes.
Although that's not really news. So Pereira will survive.
Good decision there by the umpire, because as you said, there was a flurry of gloves and bat, and it just looked good, didn't it? But missed the glove.
Well, England only have 1 review left now. Sri Lanka still have 3. 76 for 7, a reminder. 2 slips in, Leach in, and Mendes comes forward solidly, pushes into the offside. End of the 24th over of Sri Lanka's innings.
A little bit of normal
76 for 7.
A little bit of normal cricket there. Nicely flighted delivery on off stump, looking to turn away, and the batsman comes forward and just defends it with a good technique.
It's dull, that, wasn't it? I preferred the Moose over mid-wicket.
Yeah, the Moose Cup's very
appropriate
for this second innings.
Andy Zaltzman is with us in his stat shed down in Streatham. I just want to ask you, because we could see him on a Zoom call, he can change his backdrop every day.
Yes,
we've had the Oval in 1882. We've had dim sum as well when he was trolling us quite unforgivably, and I haven't forgiven him, nor will I ever. But today he's got a load of cigarette cards.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to. It's very difficult to see because the screen's quite small. As Bess is into Lakmal hitting the pad, big appeal, going down. Umpire's not interested. Umpire Paliaguruge says no, and they're not going to refer this. He wasn't quite deep enough in his crease to encourage that. It's just going to go snaking past leg stump. They haven't referred. Best with 4 for 23 is in again.
Feel a shot coming there.
To Lakmal with his quite magnificently stylish beard. Leg slip forward, short leg, and a slip in. He comes down the wicket, and he gets a thick inside edge onto pad, but it goes to where a silly mid-on would have been.
It's nicely bowled.
Might you have somebody else out there in there, nice and tight? I wonder.
I think they've got 2 on the leg side. I thought in outfields to the tail enders, because it's either going to be, if I'm blocking, I'm going nowhere. I'll better have a dart.
Well, Lakmal do with this. Well, he pushes into space on the offside, goes through for a quick single, which you can tell he's not that much of a batsman because it was a very long single and he set off petrified.
I've never been a great judge of a run. You're right. Batsmen seem to know how. They're good judges of runs, having done it quite a lot. Us tail enders just
yes, got to run. I'm going to come back to Andy Zaltzman's backdrop shortly, but the spinners are getting through their over as well here. Bess in, clipped away into the onside for a single by Mendes. He does well there. Showed better technique going into his crease. A 78 for 7. Yeah, Andy, is that a 1930?
34.
34. I knew it was an Ashes series from the 30s.
Yes, a cigarette card.
Woodfull, Kipax, Bradman, Ponsford. That lot.
I've got the results of the Lackmal durability index.
Oh, thank you. The LDI. Lackmal defends from the crease, works the short leg, and there's no run. Shall we come to it at the end of the over? Because we've got one ball left. So if you can be on, point for that.
He's played all right. You're right here, Lackmal. At least he's showing some application, but you just get the feeling that there's a shot just waiting to come out here.
Here's Bess, and Lackmal goes into his crease, plays into the ground, fielded on the bounce at short leg. Andy Zaltzman, the Lackmal durability index, please.
This is his 62nd test. So if we break it into two halves of his career, his first 31 tests, he averaged 8.1 and was dismissed every 20 deliveries. In the latter half of his career, he's averaged 13.8 and been dismissed every 26 deliveries. So he's been a bit more attacking and slightly more durable, without necessarily being someone you would back to bat Sri Lanka out of this self-inflicted predicament.
Did he not have a relatively long innings against, am I imagining it, was it against England in the last series England played in Sri Lanka? I seem to recall Lackmal being a thorn in England's side once.
I don't think
I imagine that. I have strange fervent dreams in which Lackmal comes to haunt me.
He had 4 innings of 20 to 40 balls.
There you go.
Not
series.
bad.
Yes. There, 4 innings of 20 to 40 balls.
Doesn't take a lot to get inside that nut of yours, does it?
Lead sweep. Big appeal. Huge appeal for everything here. There's a sweep. It was taken by Butler behind the stumps. Now, are they going to refer this for LBW? I think it's spinning past off stump. They're keen. They're very keen. Butler said go for it. They're going to go for it again. Well, Lyndon Hannibal has he's done more work than we have in that box, I tell you.
It was full. He's gone for the sweep. I don't think he's got a glove or an edge on it, but it sort of got full on him. It's whether it's pitched outside leg or spun too much past the offside, but I think it's fair enough. It's the last review England's got.
Now then, let's see if he has got anything on it. Of course, he'll be out caught.
He's hit it onto his boot.
He's hit it onto his boot. Oh, he has, and this is going to be out.
Oh, my word.
There's a really good review, and, it's Butler. Now, Butler was out, having hit the ball onto his boot. Butler wanted that review, and he's got a measure of karmic revenge here, has Butler. Yeah, the hot spot shows the ball's hit the under edge, and it hits right on top of the boot. There's no denying this. There's no chance that's hit any ground. Butler was smartly taken catch. He was always going to take that. And well, I never.
Wow.
That's another hugely important wicket, because it's Mendes, the last of the recognised batters.
Correct. And he was actually playing all right. As you say, 16 over 20 balls. At least he was looking sort of pretty sound in defence and had the shot capability to get to the boundary as well. So another huge wicket for England. And these 2 test matches have been amazing, haven't they? Hit things onto boots, short legs jumping in the air, getting it off of their knees and things, and it's just been all action stuff. Brilliant to watch. England now really in the box seat. I mean, these guys in outfields to these tail enders, as you're saying, if they're going to defend, you're probably going to get an inside nick and get caught round the bat. And then also, if you come down the pitch, there are the men there to pick up the wickets in the deep. So England all over Sri Lanka here. They must be absolutely gutted in that changing room. They have played this knock appallingly.
25.1 overs in, and Sri Lanka are 78 for 8. The lead is 115, and barring a miracle, this match is ending today.
Well, yes, without doubt. Without doubt.
Which would be a shame, actually, because I've really enjoyed our early mornings together.
Well,
I'm going to miss you all.
The cricket's kept us going, hasn't it? I mean, we've witnessed some really exciting stuff, some strange dismissals, some great batting. And now, nothing better than a spinning pitch last couple of days. Wickets all round the bat. It's been a fantastic series so far.
I don't want to hog all the wickets. I've taken quite a few.
I've done well as well.
You've done superbly.
I've bowled well at goal.
And I can see Simon Mann is absolutely itching to get into the action. He's like Mark Wood here. He's
not getting a bowl.
Not getting a bowl, not getting a wicket. So I'm going to hand over to Simon Mann with Sri Lanka 78 for 8. The lead just 115.
I was told to put my headphones on, Dan. I was just doing as I was told.
Well, Simon, what do you make of this, mate?
Well, it's a remarkable day's cricket, isn't it? 9 wickets have gone today. 9 wickets, and we're 22 minutes past lunch.
These last two won't hang
115 ahead. Embledenia is on strike. Leach goes in and bowls to him, and he plays defensively into the onside. Oh, he's going to get a single there, is he? No, he don't. Nearly a run out. They decide not to run. Yeah, well, Lakmal and Embledenia. Embledenia has not been very convincing with the bat, I think it has to be said, in this series so far. Scores of 7, 0 and 0.
Just goes to show, Simon. I mean, hold on.
Here's Leach bowling to Embledenia, who's forward. That's a nice solid defensive shot into the offside. Leach skips across to pick up, and there's no run. Leach has 4, Bess has 4.
Yeah, there's been 3 or 4 wickets to the sweep shot, hasn't there? And Joe Root just looked so... That's where he got all his runs from it.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as you think.
Here is Leach bowling to Embledenia, who's down the pitch, shuffling down the pitch and playing defensively into the onside towards the mid-on area. Leach is across to his left this time to pick up. And there's no run. Leach has taken 4 for 35, but it has been a woeful batting effort from Sri Lanka. Embledenia waits. He's down the pitch again, clipping Leach back. And Leach bends down to pick up, and there's no run. Sri Lanka are 115 runs ahead. In theory, there are 62 overs left in the day's play after this one. I say in theory, but we've lost a few overs because of slow over rate. Here is Leach bowling. Embledenia clip driving that towards long. They've got a long on in for Embledenia, and he gets off the mark. So he's on 1. Lakmal on 3. It's 79 for 8. Leach out early, sweeping. Thought, well, Sri Lanka got a useful lead here of 37. They increased that. It's amazing to think they were basically 56 for no wicket tuffers.
Yeah.
And then since then, 19 for no wicket. It's turned into 78 for 8.
Yeah, that middle order. Fernando 3, Matthews 5, Chandimal 9, Dick Weller 7. That's ripped the heart out of them.
I think it was when Matthews was out sweeping. That was the moment, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
First innings century maker.
And you're right, when you are trying to force a third innings as a bowling side, it's crucial to get rid of those openers. If there's an opening stand and it starts, their heads go a little bit. If they're 30, 40 for none, the lead's about 100, you start going, oh crikey, here we go. And the sort of momentum shifts back to the batting side. If you can get rid of them early as well, it just gets you on the front foot.
Here's Bess going into bowl to Embledenia, and he plays defensively towards Silly Point. Joe Root's been off the field, and he's back on. Overton's on for a while, and so Butler made the call on the review, and it was a tantalising one because it wasn't obvious. Well, not from here anyway. Here is Bess going into bowl to Embledenia, and Embledenia guides it for a single into the offside. Yeah, there is one there. There's some hesitation initially. Curran comes in. One more, 80 for 8.
Strange dismissals, haven't they, in both test matches?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen so many people hit on the foot and plop up in the air and get caught.
No, that's right.
I've played football, keepy uppies.
Yeah, there was one against Butler, and there was 2 against Butler.
Yeah.
One that was inconclusive. It looked it was out from one angle and then not from another. Best goes in and bowls, driven firmly by Lakmal straight to extra cover, and there's no run. But Butler made the call on that review. They even had 1 review left, so that they went for LBW to start with, and then the ball ballooned up. Butler stepped forward to take the catch. They thought, hold on a second, has he hit that? And indeed he had, into his boot. Best bowls. Lakmal comes stabbing forward, plays that into the offside, and there's a single there. One more.
And we've said it about subcontinent pitches. if you get on that roll as a fielding side and the batsmen start to just sort of like, get nervous, things can happen so quickly. But these two now have just looked to play it about a little bit and looked all right, haven't they?
They have. I mean, it's early days, but Best goes in 81 for 8, bowls to Embledenia. The ball stops spinning now, Tufness. He's not doing anything.
I know, but it's just strange. I mean, it does happen. It does get easier, and everyone go, like Joe Root made it look. What's the problem? But if you get in that fretful, panicky mindset, it looks like you're never going to score a run.
Best to Embledenia, the left-hander,
Shot.
dug out into the offside. It's a fine shot through extra cover. This is going out towards the boundary. Fielder running round. Will he get there? No, he won't. And Embledenia goes breezily onto 6 from 9 balls. And it's 85 for 8, and Sri Lanka lead by 122. And I will remind you of Stuart Broad's words at the end of the last Test match. He said, we wouldn't have wanted to chase 130.
Well, they're right.
That was a 5th day pitch.
Yeah.
This is still a 4th day pitch.
Yeah. I'm really surprised that first innings, when that first Test match actually made it to the 5th day.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this one is, and it started a better pitch.
Yeah.
I do like a pitch that disintegrates, though. We all love a pitch that disintegrates quickly.
Well, it brings the spinners in. It's fascinating when the spinners are in. You're talking about that, that panic on. I also sort of associate that sort of panic situation. When you play in India and the crowds are big and the roars go. Every ball there's something happening. The ball's spinning. Even the not outs or ball spinning past the edge or LBW shouts are nowhere near out. They all get a big roar as well. It must be horrible for the batting side. It just feels so much under pressure. Lackmel drives Leach towards extra cover and there's no run. Of course, that won't be happening this time because it looks as if there are going to be no crowds in India for the Test matches.
No, I remember bowling at someone was getting close to the 100, but
Here's Leach to Lackmel. Lackmel's a huge heave at that, sides it away off a thickish outside edge out towards deep cover, and they get 1 run. That was a Mark Wood hack from Lackmel. He got away with it though.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the rush of blood. It's those shots that get you in trouble. If you can defend and trust your technique a little bit, once you get in, things definitely become easier. But it's the rush of blood that gets you in trouble. I mean, that is just slightly tossed up outside off stump. He's had an almighty heave at that. I mean, I know he's a number 9, but...
Lackmel goes to 5, 86 for 8. Leach moves in, bowls to Embledenia, who gets a thick inside edge on that one, past short leg. He gets another single. And the lead inching up is 124 now. It's 87 for 8. Lackmel 5, Embledenia 7.
Yeah, when I was playing in India, I think the bloke was on about sort of 100. No, he was on about 85. And every time you run into bowl, it's because they expect the 100, and then it goes for 4. Huge cheer and round of applause.
Leach to Lackmel. Lackmel defends to extra cover.
Yeah, it does put you off.
No run.
It's just almost expected.
Leach spins himself a catch, sets himself 2 feet together, and then moves in looking for his 5th wicket. And bowls one that spins away, but it's left by the batsman, Lackmel. He's batting with that helmet on. So on a pitch like this, I mean, it's nice to have the helmet off, but on a pitch like this, if you're, playing a few shots, you can easily top edge one into your face. You think, you don't need the helmet against the spinners, but sometimes you do.
Yeah, you've got to look after the railings.
Last ball of the over. Leach to Lackmel. Lackmel's back, flicking that nicely into the onside, but straight to backward square leg. So there's no run. It's the end of the over. Sri Lanka 87 for 8. They only had 28 overs of their innings. And they were bowled out in the first test. First innings of the first test for 135 and 46.1. It looks as if it's going to go much quicker than that this time round. And England will have a small chase in the second innings. 125 will be at the moment.
Yeah, it's a side that you can just get the feel that they're lacking in confidence, lacking the sort of wherewithal about how to get themselves into winning positions as well. And England just feeding off of that uncertainty and just allowing the sort of Sri Lanka to just capitulate at the moment. These two actually have played it the best of the lot.
It's not far away.
Yeah.
Sweep shots have been an issue for Sri Lanka in this innings. Between them, Kusal Pereira, Matthews, Chandimal and Mendes.
Yeah.
I'll finish this after this ball.
Here is Bess. 3 close catches on the offside. Bowls to Embledenu, defends to Silly Point.
10 sweep shots between them in this innings, 12 runs, 4 dismissals. Compare that with Joe Root, 52 sweep shots, 74 runs, and not dismissed in England's innings. It's all types of sweep, including reverse.
Best to Embledenu. Embledenu shows in the full face again, plays it towards Silly Point, and there is no run. Lackmel survived 18 balls, Embledenu 12. Who knows how precious these runs are going to be. Best bowls to Embledenu, drives, it's gone past Butler's left hand and to the right of Root, and it's gone away for 4. He given a bit of flight, he went for the big drive and edged it, but between wicketkeeper and slip, the lead up to 128. It's 91 for 8. Tuffers has gone, and Alistair Cook is here.
Simon, I can't quite believe what I've just seen the last hour, to be honest with you, or 2 hours. I mean, I've been saying all along this has got a 5-day thriller written all over it, and now I can't see it going past tonight.
Yes, it could well end today. It depends how quickly these last 2 wickets go. There's some bags of overs left. It could get tense. Here is Bess moving in to bowl to Embledenu. This time plays in defence away to the offside, and there's no. Just look at the replay on that previous one. It was too wide of Root at slip to his right, and enough on it to go past Butler's left glove. It wasn't a chance. It was a bit of fortune really for Embledenu. Here is Best bowling, short, cracked away by Embledenu through the offside. England have a sweeper back, and it's Curran who sends in the return to Butler, and there's 1 more run to the total. Embledenu goes to 12 useful runs here from the number 10. The most convincing effort of the series so far.
I mean,
a couple of ducks and a 7.
I don't know if I've misread this pitch or not. Is it? It's not a 92 for 8 wicket. It doesn't look, does it?
No, I don't think so. Here's Best bowling. Back goes Lackmel, pushes it up the pitch, and there's no run. There's been some careless batting. I know it's probably one of those pitches where you feel, I think it looked like Chandimal batted as if like, well, if I don't play for your attacking shots, there's going to be a ball with my name on it. But he's surely a better player than that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it, obviously watching it, and it is spinning, and the odd one is there's the odd Jaffa going around. But now Chandimal's innings, for example, he tried to hit every ball for 6 pretty much after he got beaten off, by Leach playing a 4 defence, which one turned as it would do on day 4, and then he tried to hit. He did hit a 6, didn't he? Across Jack Leach over mid wicket. Yeah, against the spin, bounce. It's only going to, the odds in your favour are low, aren't they? And it came off once, and he tried it next ball, and he was out. It's a 1 in probably 6 or 7 shot. It comes off, and if you really want to attack that much, surely you would wait to attack best the ball coming into you, turning into you. It's almost as these guys haven't played in these conditions again, the tricky third innings in tough conditions, but these guys have grown up on these kind of wickets. I find it extraordinary. Here's
Leach bowling to Embledenu. Has a huge swing at that. It's a shout for LBW. It doesn't look quite right. It was spinning in from outside the off stump, but it spun quite a lot, so they're not going to review it. They only have this 1 review left.
I think it hit him outside the line, I was thinking.
Yeah, could well have done as well. Outside the line and spinning a lot, might have gone down the leg side. Sometimes you just get a sense of whether it looks right or not, and it didn't that time. Embledenu's down the pitch this time, playing into the onside, picked up by Lawrence at mid-wicket, who took that catch to get rid of Dick Weller before lunch, similar to the one he dropped on the first day of the first test. This time he patched it away to his right. Yeah, he was hit outside the line, just seeing the replay. That previous LBW shout. Leach bowls to Embledenu, down the pitch, hitting this hard into the onside. He's made good contact with that. He's hit that for 4. England have 2 men out, 1 at deep mid wicket, 1 at long on, and he's found the boundary. Embledenu to 16, and the lead up to 133, and it's 96 for 8. And these two have put on 18 runs so far for the 9th wicket. I think they're closing in on the biggest partnership of the innings so far.
Yeah. I wonder if Gerard's thinking about a bit of pace from Mark Wood against the lower order now. And just from take one of the spinners off, he obviously keep one on. I wonder which one he might go for. Probably might keep maybe Bess on with the left-hander in. But I've been amazed by this batting. I think it's been a really bad batting performance by Sri Lanka. They might end up getting enough runs, but you know, yes, you got to be positive. Yes, you got to look to score to build that innings lead. But you know, it hasn't been that bad of a pitch that you had to have played like this. Surely they could have looked to build a partnership. You know, as we've seen all game, that once you build that partnership, it's hard. You get the rhythm. It's hard to like disrupt it as the opposition. And they've almost come out and said that every ball's got a name, and I've got to get 4 or 6 and get as many runs before I get it. And I don't think that was the right way to go about it.
Leach to Embledenia, that spits and turns, hits him high up on the thigh pad, spinning in from outside the off stump, drops down on the pitch. Yeah, with a bit more care, you feel there's easily another 70 runs out there, and you chase 200 even. It wouldn't be easy. Here's Leach bowling. Embledenia goes down the pitch and hits this high in the air out towards the long off area, and he's hit it over long off. That's gone for 6. These are very valuable runs. Embledenia to 22. Sri Lanka's 100 is up. They're 102 for 8. The lead goes to 139, and now we might be in Mark Wood territory.
It's a lovely shot as well. I mean, it's gone over mid-off, so actually you don't mind him trying to play that shot, but actually he got right to the pitch of the ball and he hammered it over, you know, mid-off. And he's played really well here. He's played good shots in the right areas.
Leach bowls, and that goes spinning away into the onside, past the leg side trap, and down towards the deep backward square leg area. Curran rushes in, sends in the return. The bails are off at the striker's end. There's an appeal from Bairstow for a run out, but I think he was back for the second there.
I think he's check in. Yeah, I think he's easily in. It's just whether he's grounded with his bat. You know, the good old-fashioned in as you poke the bat over the line. Whether he's kind of slid it in, that would be a nice bonus wicket, wouldn't it?
It would be, but it looked as if he were. It's quite touching. Let's see. No, he's in, but it's a bit closer than I thought. It was a strange one. The bat was alongside his foot, rather than really reaching for the crease and sliding it in. He was sort of putting his foot there and then sliding the bat alongside it. Interesting technique there, but anyway, he's safe, and he's picked up 2 more valuable runs. He goes to 24, and Sri Lanka to 104 for 8. The lead is 141. I think it's worth emphasising that Sri Lanka not out of this game yet.
No.
I mean, that's the bizarre thing about it. Even though they batted very badly, perfectly capable of causing England some problems when they bat in the second innings, especially the way the openers have played so far. Bess is going to continue. Bowls to Lakmal. Lakmal drives, and there's a very good stop at mid-wicket by Lawrence away to his left in the dirt there, and where his wicket ends, parries it and prevents Lakmal getting a single.
Another 30 runs, 170. You are right in the game. I still think England, would fancy their chances of knocking off or take a good innings from someone.
Best bowls to Lakmal. Lakmal is struck on the pad there. Ball spinning into him, spinning hard. Ball goes away into the offside. I mean, you feel, a wicket is round the corner here. These two are taking their chance well. And adding extremely valuable runs for the 9th wicket. This is Bess into bowl to Lakmal. Lakmal goes back and hits this away firmly into the onside towards deep mid-wicket. England have a fielder back there. It's Curran, and it's another single. And the score goes to 105 for 8.
I've been impressed with Bess's line in this innings. Actually, he has bowled that attacking off-spinner's line, trying to beat both sides of the bat, wide outside or stump.
Best to Embledenia. He's down the pitch and miscuing into the offside, but into a gap, and that's another single. It's almost a shot a ball at the moment from these two, but it's coming off, and this partnership has gone to 28 now, by far and away the best partnership of the innings so far. It shows what you can achieve with a bit of judicious defending and some judicious attacking. I suppose they've got that freedom to play because you can't do any worse than those that come before. Here's Lakmal defending towards short leg, so the pressure's off in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's strange if you bat with the pressure off how different it is. Lakmal on 6. Embledenia 25 not out from 22 balls.
His highest in tests.
106 for 8. best bowls to Lakmal. Lakmal plays defensively to a ball outside the off stump. There is no run there, so the lead is 143. It's been a really interesting day's play, and perhaps we've got more to come. It's 106 for 8, then more from you, Alistair, and then it will be time for Jonathan Agnew.
Yeah, Sri Lanka's lead go to 143. I mean, Lakmal just shows it. He hasn't. I mean, he's a number 9 with not a great Test record, and he's just hanging in there, picking the length. You know, mainly playing best off the back foot, but getting forward when he needs to, and just showing that yes, it is a turning wicket, but it's not a minefield. And I think Sri Lanka have seen one spin and think, well, we've got to go and play aggressively, otherwise we'll get out. And I think they've actually batted really bad and given England a big chance back into this game. Obviously, Sri Lanka can still win it, but I think they've thrown away golden opportunities to kind of really push their advantage home.
Crucial half hour coming up here. 106 for 8. The lead's 143. And Embledenia is on strike. He's dancing down the pitch and then pads that into the offside. It's England versus Embledenia in this match. 7 wickets. And now he's playing really well, and he's chancing his arm a little bit, but he's striking the ball very cleanly. They put on 28. That lead though, 143. Waits again now as Leach bowls. So there's a swing across the line out towards deep square leg. A cry of catch it, but there's a fielder out there, and I'm afraid he's just kicked it away into the covers for 4 runs. There's another boundary. Root's got his hands on his knees, and every blow, every 4 just increases that pressure on England now.
But at least he's hitting with the spin, isn't he, compared to Chandimal, like hitting against the spin. You know, if you get out playing that shot, you don't really mind, because it's the right shot to play, isn't it? An aggressive sweep with the spin. You got lucky that it was kind of in the gap, but it's still a good shot.
Wasn't a great bit of fielding out there under the circumstances. Leach again bowling. Now he's down the pitch once more, hitting that away into the offside. There could be a couple here as Anderson's running after it. Might get 4. He dives, and he's taken the ball with him. It was a desperate effort. And the lead now stretches beyond 150, and again Root's got his hands on his hips. Crucial runs. Crucial runs. Andy.
Well, it's now Embledenia's highest first-class score. This is his 36th match. He'd never scored more than 26 before. And rather out of character, his Test strike rate coming into this game was 29 runs per 100 balls, less than 2 and over. He's now on 33 off 25.
A couple of... I'm not going to have a go at Anderson there. He went full length. He's one of those where he might have been able to pull it back, but not on this occasion. It was definitely a bit of a fumble, the one before. So 8 off the last 2 balls. It doesn't sound a lot, but just in the context of this match and of the lead and of the pitch and everything else, it's a lot. The lead 151, 114 for 8. And Embledenia, a slight man, he's left-handed, waits for Leach, that spins into him. He gives up a bit of room and rather clubs that away into the offside for a single where Anderson fields.
Again, it's another one of this cricket. The funny thing that the mind plays is, you'd offer this to Joe Root. Yes. When they walked out for the third innings, there'll be 115 for 8. He'd have snapped your hand off it. But now with this partnership, you feel as if it's like taking the game away from England. But England I still fancy them to knock 150 off it. Do you know what I mean? To get the bang now, I think it's not a minefield. I keep going on about it. There is the odd ball, but it's possible to score runs out there.
Leach bowls, and Lakmal, who's just happy to keep his end up here, comes lobbing forward. 6 not out from 25 balls. He's got Embledenia striking the ball very cleanly at the other end. 34 from 26 balls. The lead's 152. As Leach spins just off a catch and goes wading in from round the wicket. Is there, bowls, and that spins and is fielded in the gully. And Lakmal hangs on. 115 for 8. I've got a nice straightforward question for Andy, actually. It's one of those sort of statistical days, isn't it? Great excitement made, of course, in the first innings. All 10 wickets falling to the fast bowlers. Spinners not taking 1. I wonder when the last time was that, therefore, in the second innings, all 10 wickets were taken by the spinners and the fast bowlers not taking a single wicket. It's a fair question, isn't it?
I reckon he's got this. Oh no, he hasn't. I thought he'd even looked at that. I thought Andy would have thought that could happen today. I'll have that on the.
I think it's going to happen today, isn't it? I can't see Mark. Well,
I thought Mark was going to come on now.
Yeah, they might have a change actually.
I think I would. I think I'd bring a bit of pace on just.
Would you?
Well, I think so. Just because
Embledenia up a bit.
Well, a little bit. I mean, if his highest first-class score is 24, then I know he's gone past it with 34 to this Test score. He's not a great batsman, is he? Let's be honest. So a bit of pace, a bloke at 90 miles an hour. His chances are enough against a spin. It could be a time for Mark Wood.
bit of a burst, someone who's going to bowl some hostility perhaps. Well, we'll see. 115 for 8. 48 runs have come from 11 overs in this little session, but they have lost 2 wickets, of course. The lead 152, but Bess is continuing. Flicking the ball from hand to hand. Sunglasses on, dripping with sweat. Round the wicket he goes. There's 3 men catching. And then Muldinia hammers it down the ground. Leach fumbles it. I don't think it was hit in the air to him. He's still down on one knee. It's hit very hard.
Come on, Bessie.
You sent me a lovely picture of your venison yesterday afternoon, Agus. I'm sure you probably have spoken about it already, but how was it?
It was perfect, of course.
It looked good.
It was lovely, actually, I must say. Just got it in before it snowed. There it goes. Bess again, round the wicket. And that's swiped away into the leg side. Man out there, can't get anywhere near it. And how far's that gone? It's just bobbled into the rope, in fact. Chancing his arm once again, but it is another boundary. And these are just, well, they're golden runs as far as Sri Lanka's concerned. And I mean, if this innings was to win the match effectively for Sri Lanka, having taken 7 wickets in the first, chipping in with a few of the second, and Embledon is having a massive say on this game.
Well, he's going to have a massive say, isn't he, with the ball, I think, as well. I don't think Don Bess will mind that too much. It's a high risk shot, as you know, to play against the spin with that bounce is disturbing the surface. Could have easily gone straight in the air, but you know, he executed it well. Partnership of 41.
Yeah, from 43 balls. Bess again strides in, bowls. Embledon goes back and carves this. Finds wood at backward point.
Batting like Brian Lara, isn't he?
Well, he is. He's extraordinary. Gives a little bit of room there. Huge follow through. Yeah, it's a really valuable contribution. This 38 from 29 balls. The lead's 156. 2 wickets left. His best ball's a slightly quicker one there. It scurries on. And Muldinia is up to it though. Plays the ball away cautiously into the offside once more. There's only Fernando to come. Looks like Joe Root's loosening up.
Fears his man of the match is under threat, maybe.
Yes. That's again floating it up. Embledon's down the pitch, driving, and it's a sprawling stop there by Anderson at mid-on his hands and knees. He took a brilliant catch earlier on. One of those that, if you just watch on the telly, or if you haven't, I don't know, if you don't play a lot of cricket, it'll look all right. But when you turn and that ball's coming over your shoulder on a clear blue sky, and you're just starting to swivel and rotate that top half of your body as well.
Well, he did a bit of a 360
He did.
to start with to get himself settled. I wasn't that confident.
No,
I should always back my friend. But
I didn't think he'd get a hand on it. It was one of those where you could be a horrible, total misjudgment, because you'd lose all your balance, you'd just lose everything. But that was a really, really outstanding catch. These are good ones today. His best, and that's pushed away back to him by Lakmal. One or two of them reflex. This was one of those where this was just brilliant judgment. Horrible catch. And, all he needed to make it an absolute 10 out of 10 brilliant catch was a swirling wind.
and a dive at the end. He could have like got a few more points for a bit of a dive at the end.
Yes, it was brilliant.
And sorry, quickly on that catch as well. The sky is just blue as well. There's no clouds at all. So for any depth perception, it's a lot harder to take a skyer when there's no cloud in the sky. So I'm going to give him a few more marks for the catch.
No, it was a brilliant catch. 8 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. Those of you who are joining us now on a Monday morning. Cold outside and snow still lying. Certainly in some parts of the country it is here. The sun's just coming up on a clear sky, so it's a lovely sunrise behind me, and it's an interesting scorecard in front of me. 120 for 8 is Sri Lanka's score. They lead therefore by 157, which is not to be sniffed at on this pitch and in these circumstances. Been a rather spectacular day, not entirely unexpected. We talked about the possibility of this happening yesterday and again this morning. Pressure on this third innings, and now Root's coming on because some valuable runs have been added here by Embledon, who prods the first ball from Root into the leg side. He's on 39 from 32 balls, which is his highest first-class score comfortably. He's hit some fine boundaries. He's just put the frighteners here on England a little bit, hence the bowling change. Leach has been taken off, He's taken 4 wickets so far, and Root again bowls that slashed and dropped at slip by Bairstow. Went pretty quickly, went to his left, one-handed, but he did get plenty of hand to it, and down it went. And these are the sort of chances that just have to be taken.
I think that's gone really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know how much slip to spin Johnny Bairstow would have done.
I think it came off Butler too a bit. That's what I'd like to see it again. I wonder if it came off Butler's thigh and took it away further from him. In comes Root again. Embledania is forward.
Yes,
Plays that back. Let's have a look at this.
Yes, I don't think it did, but I might be wrong. No, it's a wide one. But it's, obviously Johnny Bairstow's probably, up there with Joss Butler's the best catcher in the team. Obviously the clues in the name being wicket keeping.
Yeah, there's an excellent push out to cover. No, you're right, it did go straight there, but did go fast. He got it on his wrist.
But the slip to spin is such a hard position if you don't do much about it. It's, I found it really hard to learn. I've done a little bit last couple of years with Essex.
Root again, and that Embledania defends, rolls away.
And with Simon Harman, I felt a lot more comfortable, but only by doing more and more of it. It's that, again, my electric hand just so close to the bat as well. So it's reaction, but also being able to stay calm, to move quickly, to get. Yeah, but I think you're missing Ben Stokes a little bit there as well, a bloke with experience.
Root, one that just goes straight on there, and Embledania defends it. Well, that's a maiden, an eventful one, and Embledania remains on 39, Lackmal 6. So for those just joining us, 4 wickets for Bess, 4 for Leach, who was the last man out for England today. He was LBW to Pereira for 1. Anderson 4 not out. They added 5 runs, so that took the Sri Lankan lead to 37. But as you've said all the way through, it's worth double that really in these conditions. Pereira played a couple of good shots to start with. Then he played a sweep to Leach. He was, I think, to be accurate, stomach before wicket. One of those where it was an umpire's call, and England managed to get him given out. It was very, very tight, just trimming the bails. There's Bess tossing it up, and Lackmal, very restrained, picks up a single down to long on. Fernando caught by Crawley in at short leg off better ball at turn, bounced. Classic dismissal really for a right-hander off an off-spinner for 3. A brilliant catch by Crawley. Next one though, Tiramani reflex off Leach. He was out for 13. Angelo Matthews went for a very ambitious sweep and was clean bowled by Bess for 5. Then the brilliant catch we're talking about by Jimmy Anderson, running back to catch Chandimal for 9. 47 for 5 at that point, with the best batsman all out is Bess, and Embledania wants a single. He'll get it to pushing away out to point. 66 for 6. And Dick Weller mowed Bess to Lawrence at cover, wide, pitched up. He drove it hard. Lawrence held onto the catch. Dick Weller out for 7. Deruan Pereira again snapped up at short leg by Crawley off Bess for 4. And then Ramesh Mendes has had an interesting debut. He got a duck in his first test, and he's caught down the leg side. And unfortunate today, he was not for the first time we've seen it in this match. We've seen it already. Caught off his boot as he swept. Lackmal forward to Bess is no run. The ball bouncing off the boot, and easy for Butler to take the rebound. That off Leach. He was out for 16. Now that was 78 for 8. Now 122 for 8. The lead's 159. And Lackmal's on 7. Bess bowls to him. Oh, he's hit on the pad. Appeal for leg before wicket. Umpire shakes his head. Says not out to that. Root gesturing that may be going down the leg side. They've got to be careful. They've only got one review left.
I think it's either going down leg or hitting outside the line. I know that's a fairly obvious thing to say, but it didn't look out, did it? It was on the front foot as well. It's a long way for the ball still to travel.
You really want to keep that review, don't you, if you're England? Men round the bat, nicks into the pad. Best bowls. Oh, he's down the pitch now and got a bit of a mess there, Lackmal. But he's hit out of the way, through mid-off, and there's no one there. Somehow he worked his way to hit that through that big gap. I give him credit for that. He's got a big smile on his face. Him dancing down the pitch. Wow, no one out at mid-off or long-off. The lead goes to 163. It's another boundary. Leach again, hands on hips. thinking about what he's going to do here.
It was an unbelievable shot.
It was
really.
actually. You know, looking at the replay of that, that's pretty classy.
Well, actually, Best did him in the flight. He was nowhere near it, and he's gone against the spin and like hammered it past mid-off.
Yeah, tossed up this time, more of a tail ender's scythe down to backward point. Best holding his head in his hands. Well, it's a terrific day's cricket, this. 163 the lead now. 126 for 8 is Sri Lanka's score. Lakmal's got a big smile on his face. He's enjoying himself. He's got his Sri Lankan cap on. And, you're right. I'll offer that to Joe Root.
Yeah.
First thing this morning, and he'd have bitten your hand off. But now, having been 78 for 8.
Come on, boys,
Now 126 for 8.
Yeah, still, it's not out of England's reach at all, though, is it? Like, I think we keep talking about it. We feel as if they've missed this opportunity to hammer home. It's probably evens, isn't it, at the moment, you'd say, between the sides?
Yes, I wouldn't want Sri Lanka to get 20 more if I were England. Best round the wicket, floating it up, and mistimed drive there from Ebelden. You're getting an extravagant shot. Best Root able to field as he follows through. So Root trying to get the breakthrough here. Ebelden on strike. The lead 163. Root again. Oh, the slow one this time. Ebelden forward, wants a single. Lakmal not interested, sends him back. 126 for 8. Always so frustrating when you've done the hard work and you've got the penultimate pair together. His future just knock him over. Root tosses it up. Nice shot again from Embledania. Like he's vying for promotion here.
And there has been a couple of chances to slip as well, hasn't there? To spin. Joe Root's had. They've not been easy. They've been tough chances, but again, you'd love to have taken at least one of them.
Root again floats it up, and Bairstow throws the ball in the air at slip, and Root has taken the wicket. Embledania out for 40. He's still hanging around, but he's on his way now. Whether he thought he'd squeeze that into the ground momentarily, I'm not sure, but the fact is that England can breathe a sigh of relief there. They've removed Embledania, who played a really, really valuable innings there for his side. He took 7 wickets. He just ran that really off the face of the bat to Bairstow, who's taken their catch. Root is smiling again. He hasn't been for a little while. And it means that the lead is 163, and he scored 40 from 42 balls. And that partnership, Andy?
48 from 10.3 overs, and Embledenia, as I said earlier on, before his highest in Tests was 24, his highest in all first-class cricket was 26, and he scored around about 33 per 100 balls in first-class cricket before this innings, and went at a run a ball basically for today. Extraordinary performance.
Absolutely. Well, they've got Fernando coming in now. That's the last man, and then we'll just knock him over and get batting, and then all the conversation again will be about England's opening batsman, of course. So but it's going to be a really fascinating day's cricket today. Do stay with us. I'm sure you will. I think my time is up here. Michael Vaughan looks like he's heading off to the slopes. Got a skiing jacket on, some bright yellow undergarment. You look as if you're about to do some slaloming.
Yes.
Michael, I'm going to bring Dan in as well.
Do you know what he reminds me of, Agus? There was I think he was Swiss, a great skier called Pierman Zurbriggen. Always used to wear a kind of that rust colour and mustard combo, didn't he?
I've been likened to someone off Baywatch on social media.
We can't hear Agus. Can
I bring in a Pierman Zurbriggen story? I think having a drinks break.
I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Nor would I. Today newspaper, back in the day, Eddie Shah. They took me on in the winters to do all sorts of jobs reporting. One of which, to my surprise, was to go and report on the
the suspicion that Permin Zurbriggen was announcing his retirement as a world downhill champion skier. So I was dispatched somewhere out of Val d'Isère, actually. It was rather nice. Spent 4 days out there looking for him with a lady photographer called Maggie Haroon. We had a great time, potted about, lots of mulled wine and so on, looking for this chap.
Sounds good.
Ended up in a bar. We were going to go home that night, given up. Sitting in the bar having a drink with Maggie, that looks like Permin Zurbriggen to me. And she said, do you think it is? I said, yes, I think it probably is. She snapped a picture, I had a quick word with him, gave me his exclusive. Yeah, I fear dangerous injury and therefore career finishing, so I'm ending, that's it. Today exclusive, 2 days later, Permin Zurbriggen calls it quits, all because of the night in the bar in some unknown place in Val d'Isère. There you go.
Thank you. So I never thought I was going to hear that. Full from Root, and he's bowled him. I think he's just picked up 2 in 2. Root, can you believe it? He's got Fernando first ball. It was wide, it was full, and Fernando just jabbed his bat down on it, and it rolled back onto his stumps. And Root has got 2 for none in 1.5 overs. He's broken the partnership just before the drinks break, and now he's wrapped up the innings. Sri Lanka have been bowled out for 126. England will require 164 runs to win. And let me tell you, I think there are 48 overs left in the day. Let's just take another look at that. He got it on the full, did Fernando. He had to reach for it. It was a good foot and a half outside off stump, perhaps more, and he just jabbed it into the ground and unluckily diverted it back onto off stump. Root's laughing mightily. So after a very frustrating 9th-wicket partnership for England of 48 between Embaldenia and Saranga Lakmal, 2 have gone in 2 balls. Root won't get a chance to get his hat-trick, unfortunately for him, because that is the end of his bowling in this match. And the England coaching team are clapping their players back in. They've got themselves right back in this game. They've been in all sorts of bother for long periods of this match, when they were 4 down for 120 odd in their first innings, and then again when their 6th wicket fell at 252. Joe Root has got him out of trouble with 186, and now he's got him out of trouble again by picking up those last 2 wickets in 2 balls. It was an inspired bowling change from the captain, and England they've got more than a sniff. It's hard to tell who's on top. The pitch is helping the spinners, but they'll really fancy their chances of hunting down that 164 to win, take a 2-0 series win. And let me just run you through the bowling figures. 10 wickets went to seam in the first innings, 10 have gone to spin in the second, 4 for 49 for Best, 4 for 59 for Leach, 2 for none from Joe Root. What a bizarre innings we've seen live and well. Andy Zaltzman is waving at me. What have you got, Andy?
Well, then a number of people asking on Twitter whether there's ever been an instance in which a team's seamers took all 10 in one innings and their spinners all 10 in the other. And I've perused the CricViz data, and in fact Cricinfo have just tweeted from their own data as well that this is the first instance of that happening.
What a time to be alive. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing history.
Open.
The Permin Zurbriggen lookalike Michael Vaughan is there in Salford.
I'd like to be a downhiller, actually. I'm not that fast, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh well, there's time to work on it.
I'm a very good après skier. Very good at that, Dan.
Right.
Nice. I like the air up high.
Beautiful,
Drinking
isn't
a nice bit of something.
Well, do you know, the air here at the Oval is beautiful today. It's a crystal clear day. Embaldenia is going to bowl the first ball of the innings to Crawley, who comes forward. Studious defence plays the ball back up the wicket. There's no run. There isn't a cloud in the sky. The sun is now piercingly shining into our box, slightly obscured by these bits of black tinted plastic that have been draped in Heath Robinson fashion on the window. Embaldenia in full toss, flicked away nicely by Crawley. That'll be a boundary out through mid-wicket. He didn't get his length right at all there, Embaldenia. England are underway. Crawley will feel an awful lot better thanks to that gift, really, from Embaldenia. Yeah. But yes, the sky is as blue can be, and the outfield at the Oval from where we're commentating has still got some residue of yesterday's snow compacted with the frost that we've had overnight. The contrast with Gaul in temperature, but not in beautiful blue sky and sunshine, I tell you. So England are underway, 4 without loss. Embaldenia in, 2 slips, forward short leg. He goes back into his crease, punches nicely off the back foot, through the covers. There is a man stationed out there already, I should have known. the extra cover boundary, 5 without loss.
Yeah, Sri Lanka won't over-attack. They've got a couple of slips, a short leg. The big thing for me is that the Sri Lankan team have just not been used to winning. Can they build enough confidence in themselves to try and think that they can definitely win this game? The other thing, I'm telling you, he's got to be tired.
You'd think. He's bowled rather a lot. Worked into the onside. First ball by Crawley. He's found that gap that he's been looking for much of this series, and he'll get a single. He just came forward onto the front foot, pushed it into the... There's a bit too much of a gap there for Sibley, because you know that's where he's going to look to hit the ball. Might want to just plug that, but he's off the mark. 6 without loss. Denia has now conceded almost as many runs to these two batters as he has in the first 3 innings of the Test series. Off his first over, and Crawley drives it to the offside. That's the 7th run off the over. Andy, am I right? Is he 6 for 7 against them, or 6 for 8?
It was 6 for 7 coming into this over.
6 for 7 coming into 6 for 7 coming into this over, and now he's conceded 7
against Crawley
in 5 balls.
And Sibley. And
Cricket. Last ball of the over, driven into the offside, straight to short, extra cover, end of the over. Good start from England, an untidy start from Denia. Crawley 6, Sibley 1, England 7 without loss. The target 164 to win.
Yeah, I think Sri Lanka, they're going to need a real collective. Everything's going to have to stick. You're looking at someone like Ruben Pereira, an experienced off-spinner. Only got 1 for in the first innings. I feel that the experienced spinner will have to come to the party in the second. England, they've just got to play with control. Don't gamble too much. They don't want to be thinking like Sri Lanka did, where 1 or 2 good deliveries and all of a sudden you think, I've got to put pressure onto the spinner by whacking them out of the ground. Just play. There's going to be good balls. Just got to understand that they'll get the odd ball right. You've just got to nullify that if you can. There might be 1 or 2 unplayable deliveries. Accept that, but don't gift them 4 or 5 wickets by just playing 2 high-risk cricket shots. It's only 157 more. It's a couple of partnerships. That's all it takes.
Just want to check with Andy. Did this innings begin with 48 overs remaining in the day? Yes, 48 overs remaining in the day, and the extra half hour can be taken, but it probably wouldn't get through the extra half hour. Of course, it depends on the over rate. I mean, the over rate's not as quick as it might be with the spinners bowling, in large part because 11 wickets have fallen, which doesn't help. And of course, we've had 2 changes of innings. Pereira is going to bowl his first over. Forward comes Crawley to full delivery. There's a slip, a leg slip, forward short leg, no run off that first ball. So you'd imagine, well, this game's either going to end today or it's going to be very close to ending today. Either way, Michael, would be my guess.
Yeah, I think we're up for similar to the last Test match.
Pereira in. Crawley thick outside edge as he looked to turn the ball into the onside. It squirted away through sort of gully region, and he gets another single, moves to 7.
Yeah, I think we might be in for a day 5, half 4, 30-40 minutes to go in the game scenario.
So how do we decide that? Do we have to draw lots?
I've enjoyed getting up at half 3.
Oh well, that's
Wonderful.
fine. Done. Well done. You put your hand up. I know Simon loves it.
Just stuck his hand up there. I think he's shaking his head, but as soon as your hand goes up, Andy, that's you in.
That's you in, yeah.
Simon can't wait. He wants to get up at that time. He's looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, in that case, we'll take a breather then, as Pereira is worked into the onside, straight to short leg on the bounce. There's no. I mean, we'll feel very much left out if we're.
Tim Peach is shaking his head. He's not in.
He's not in.
Yeah, no. He wants the morning in bed.
Ellie Oldroyd.
Yeah,
where's Ellie on this?
Should be up.
Pereira in, and that's worked into the onside again on the bounce. Picked up at short leg. 8 without loss.
Might just take 2 or 3 overs for the ball to start to kind of grip. That light roller sometimes just nullifies it for 2 or 3 overs. Might take a little bit longer, but it will start to spit soon.
Successful run chases, there have not been many, but as the 5th ball of the overs tucked into the onside by Sibley again. A bit too easy for him. He's just able to pick up the single there. I'd be inclined actually to have my mid-wicket in early to Sibley, because he's not going to hit him over the top, you wouldn't have thought. Anyway, gets a run, 9 without loss. There have been 6 successful run chases at Gaul. 5 of them have been of under 100, the highest of 264. Doesn't always tell the story, so I'm going to ask Andy to take a little look as Crawley works this into the onside. A good diving stop at short leg prevents the run. 9 without loss after 2 overs. Andy, how many times have sides been bowled out, most importantly, in the fourth innings, chasing targets of this kind of magnitude? That's sort of a bit more of an indicator.
There have been a couple. Pakistan chasing 168 in 2009 were bowled out for 117. More recently, India chasing 176 in 2015 were bowled out for 112. I think I'm right in saying Rangana Herath was a big part of both of those victories for Sri Lanka. So yeah, I'm not sure we necessarily read a huge amount into that. Obviously chases below 100, you'd expect teams to win fairly easily, and in 2019 Sri Lanka themselves had a 6-wicket victory chasing 268 in the most recent test before this series.
Embledenia is in, and Sibley leaves us outside the off stump. There is no run. Simon Mann is in position, as he always is. He was born ready and in position. Let's go straight over to him to finish the over.
Hey, you took me by surprise there, Dan. Actually, I thought you were going to finish the over. Anyway, 9 for no wicket. Here is Sibley facing Embledenia, and Sibley gets the ball, strikes him on the pass. A shout for LBW, but it didn't feel quite right. Pitching around about that leg stump, possibly just outside. Did it straight enough? Well, in any case, it was a no ball. So England have one more on their total there. 10 for no wicket. They need 168 to win. Embledenia's got his pitter-patter run. It's a remarkable, he bowls no balls, really. It's barely a stretch as he goes in to deliver there to Sibley, who comes forward and defends. The ball rolls into the onside, and there is no run. Sibley 2.
I also look at
Crawley
the way
7.
The way that the Sri Lankan batters played, Simon.
Here is Embledenia to Sibley, tossed up. Sibley drives, and he gets a single to the right of extra cover, out towards long off. Do we need a long off for Sibley?
No, that's absolutely a silly position for Dom Sibley down at long off. Yeah, the way that the Sri Lankan players batted, you look at someone like Embledenia, he just needed more time in the dressing room to relax and chill out. I mean, they've given him, a session off, and then thrown the ball again. Go on, bowl England out.
11 for no wicket. Embledenia bowls to Crawley. Crawley's back, forcing into the offside, into that gap. There's the man back on the deep cover boundary, and it just feels a bit too easy here for these England openers. Okay, it's early days, but 12 for no wicket already. There are lots of singles on offer.
He hasn't found his length or pace yet.
Embledenia bowled 42 overs in that first innings of England. Here is a good delivery. That's spinning past the outside edge. Sibley's right forward, and it spins past the edge and taken by Dick Weller.
Yeah, it's a subtle angle change. He went wider at the crease, a little bit lower in his release as well, so the angle going back into the stumps, sharp spin.
He goes in again, bowls to Sibley. Sibley's forward, playing into the onside quietly, picked up by Dick Weller, comes from behind the stumps. And England 12 for no wicket from 3 overs. They need 164 to win. They have 48 overs in all to get the runs at 3.41 runs per over. So it's one of those touch and go situations about whether it will end today. Sometimes in run chases, if you've got wickets in hand, the runs come quite easily towards the end and the game finishes quickly. But if England lose wickets, then it will slow down. It'll be a struggle.
Yeah, it's the kind of wicket that it's never going to be over until it's over. You can easily see 4 or 5 wickets falling in the space of 4 or 5 overs if you play like Sri Lanka did in particular.
This is Pereira to Crawley. He's there on 8. He got that gift first up to get him underway, that full toss from Embledenia. Pereira bowls, Crawley right back into his stumps, playing defensively. Ball rolls to leg slip. So we've got a leg slip, short leg, and an orthodox slip. And then men back. 11 for 143 today. Here is Pereira bowling to Crawley on his pads. He hits that firmly, but it's parried by the short leg fielder. Fernando goes to mid-wicket and there's no run.
Going straight, isn't he? He needs to get it a bit wider of the off stump to bring in both edges of the bat. A little bit too easy for the right-hander.
Let's see what he comes up with this time. Pereira goes into bowl to Crawley. That's outside the off stump, but too short. Crawley's back, forcing it away. It's a chase for Mendes away to his left-hand side and back a bit towards the boundary. And they go through for 2 runs. Pereira losing his length there. Crawley's into double figures. He's into 10 now. This is his highest score of the series, I think. Is that right?
It's the first time an England opener this series has reached double figures.
At the fourth attempt. Crawley 10 from only 11 balls. 14 for no wicket, 164 to win. Pereira bowls. Crawley's forward to a ball outside the off stump. I think that's more where you want him to bowl. Michael,
yeah,
there?
I'd go another inch or two wider of that. Problem is this field, he's got a mid-off quite wide, a cover point behind square, so anything slightly short, like he's just played that nice 2 through the offside. He's probably worried about getting hit. He's going to come around the wicket.
Indeed he is. Here he is now, round the wicket to bowl to Crawley, reverse sweeps, and it goes past slip. Tiramani sticks out a hand, it's chased down towards the third man boundaries, knocked back by Sita Fernando, and then he comes back to retrieve the ball and lob it in, and Crawley goes through for 2 runs. So immediately there, Crawley reverse sweeping, and he hit it down into the ground. It wasn't a catch to Tiramani. It was a leaping leg slip fielder who thought it might be, but he hit it down. 16 for no wicket. So far so good from England. They played positively. There's been a few singles on offer as well. Crawley this time knocks that away off his pads down towards deep back with square leg. And so far the spinners have not been able to build any pressure on England's openers. Had 4 overs of England's reply, or England's chase I should say. They need 164 to win, and they're 17 for no wicket. Crawley 13 and Sibley 3.
Well, Sri Lanka to me just looked like a team that's just lost I know that partnership grabbed a little bit of momentum, but I think deep down they know that they've completely mucked up a situation that they were controlling about 3 hours ago. Somehow they've got to find a bit of consistency with the ball. Someone's got to produce a bit of magic, a couple of wickets, and the game changes.
Leach 4 for 59, Bess 4 for 49. Root, who can do barely anything wrong at the moment, except his catching's not been that good today, 2 for 0. 2 wickets for no runs. Embledenia bowls outside the off stump. Nothing from Crawley. Root dropping Mendes and Pereira. Actually, one of them he barely touched, although it was catchable height, so it's right at slip. Bairstow dropped Embledenia as well, away to his left at slip. Embledenia bowls full. Crawley drives straight to extra cover, where it's stopped by Chandimal.
Mid-off's come up now for Crawley, so there's a bit of a carrot being dangled to Crawley. I don't think he needs to even think about hitting it down the ground over the top. Just keep playing. Don't need to risk too much.
As he did in the first test. That's tossed up, and Crawley is watchfully forward, playing that with an angled bat and with the spin as well, out to backward point. And there is no run. Chandimal's come across to have a chat with Embledenia, who's done his best. He's certainly played his part in this test match with runs and wickets, but now he's been asked to bowl his side to victory on a pitch that's offering some help, but the psychological balance of the game has shifted towards England. Embledenia bowls short outside the off stump, forced away by Crawley. Might feel he missed out there, hit it straight at Chandimal at extra cover, and there is no run.
Yeah, he's not found his rhythm at all yet, has he?
No.
Coming into his 3rd over, but it's nothing like what we saw in that first innings yet.
Embledenia bowls a beauty, and is it taken? It is. Yeah,
Found it now.
He found the edge. I think that came off the keeper's gloves and went down into the gully where the catch was pouched, and Crawley is on his way for 13, and it's an 8th wicket in the match for Embledenia. It's Embledenia against Root this test match. England are 17 for 1.
Yeah, that's the first one. A beautiful pace delivery, just the right amount of pace to get the dip, the spin, the revolutions on the ball. It spits. You can see the ball lands and takes a big puff of dust. Simple catch by Fernando in the cordon. He's had a couple of good cherries in this game, Zach Crawley. Pressure will build on him in terms of the way that he plays spin. I don't actually think he's got a massive technical fault against spin. I think he made a couple of errors in the first test. In this test match, I think he's had a couple of good balls by the left arm spinner. 17 for 1. Sri Lanka desperately need it. Even the celebration looked a little bit muted from Sri Lanka. It wasn't like they were celebrating and jumping all over the place. You generally see that, but they look very muted, the Sri Lankan team. They know that they've kind of not batted well enough, but they've still got a chance. They've still got to feel, wait a minute, England still need 147 on this pitch.
Johnny Bairstow in at number 3. You've seen the replay. I think it flicked Crawley's glove on the way through to Dick Weller, who parried it to the gully fielder Fernando, and in the end it was a straightforward catch. Sometimes when it comes off the wicketkeeper's gloves, it wrong foots the close cordon, but not that time. So Bairstow is out there. Crawley's figures in the series, therefore, have been, well, he made double figures in this innings, but 9, 8, 5 and 13.
Good. 35 runs, average 8.7, following that phenomenal 267 in his last innings of the summer.
Just comes off the top edge of the bat there.
Does it?
Simon.
Is it glove top edge?
I think it's just come right off the top edge of the bat. It's just kind of looped.
Do you think it hit the keeper's gloves? Or is that an illusion, is it?
I'll have to see it again, but I think it's just kind of looped off the top edge of the bat. Now, can Johnny Bairstow get a score before he goes home? To England to a victory.
Embledenia bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow's forward, playing defensively. That's a positive defensive shot for his first ball and walks away towards square leg. 17 for 1 then after 5 overs of England's run chase. Sibley at the other end he's faced 11 balls so far. Crawley taken a few more of the deliveries.
Yeah, so particularly to someone like Sibley, Pereira, the off-spinner, has to get it wide of off-stump. He's so strong on the onside. He wants, even a ball just outside off-stump, he'll just work it through the onside. Got to get him reaching for it, wide of that off-stump. Sibley's 3 from 11. The heart will be pounding.
Well, it's a great opportunity.
It's the first time he's faced a different bowler this series. He doesn't seem to have faced many other than the left-arm spinner.
That's a good question. There's one for Andy. Here is Pereira to bowl to Sibley. Sibley flicks that away nicely through mid-wicket for another run to get to the non-striker's end.
What he does, he goes outside of off-stump because he wants it on that onside. So you've got to kind of follow the movement of the player. And wherever he moves to, you've got to go even wider. If he's wider that off stump and manoeuvre himself to a good few inches, go even wider than that as an off-spin bowler to someone like Sibley.
I've just seen an angle, a replay from behind, and it actually categorically clears up that Crawley dismissal. It didn't come off the keeper's gloves, it did just loop off the glove, shoulder of the bat, something like that, into the offside. Return and bounce from Embledenia. Bairstow bends at the knees. Pereira goes in and bowls, and Bairstow plays a sweep shot out to deep mid-wicket, but there are 2 men out, and he picks out one of them, and so it's only a single, but Bairstow's off the mark, immediately sweeping Pereira.
Yeah, a bit of pressure on Tulroon Pereira. We've heard Russell Arnold say he'd have got rid of him. Should have gone with a different direction. Yeah, he and himself and the probably management will feel that he has to bowl Sri Lanka to victory here. He won in the first innings. Not started great in the second. Not quite got his pace.
What do you think of this field for Sibley? They've got 3 men back on the leg side boundary, including a long on. Pereira to Sibley. Sibley stands up and punches it towards straight mid-wicket, Chandimal.
But there's things like this that I see in the modern game that surely they get all the information and do the research. You know, Dom Sibley's probably never in his test career danced down and hit a ball over mid-on.
Yeah, it does seem strange. Pereira bowls to Sibley. Sibley defends back up the onside of the pitch. There's no run.
For instance, if we're talking about it and we know that he doesn't do that, surely the information is with the teams.
Results?
So prior to this over, Sibley had faced 35 balls from Embledenia and 10 from other bowlers. Embledenia got him 3 times for 4 runs.
Thanks. Pereira bowls to Sibley. Sibley gets the ball outside the off stump, spinning back in. He's right across, playing into the onside to mid-wicket. There is no run. Even 19 for 1.
Even mid-wicket on the boundary to someone like Sibley, you'd bring him up and say, go on then, try and hit it through there. By him doing that, he might bring a catch to those fielders close.
Pereira bowls wide of off stump. Sibley reaches for it on the drive, hits it straight to extra cover. There is no run. That's the end of the over. 6 gone in England's innings. That is worth keeping an eye on because they've got 48 overs today, in theory, in which to score the runs they need. And the target is 164, and they are 19 for 1. Bairstow there on 1, and Dom Sibley on 4 after Sri Lanka were all out for 126 in 35.1 5 frantic overs of batting with the spinners, the England spinners taking all 10 wickets, best 4, Leach 4 and Root 2, and Phil Tufnell looking on with jealousy at the pitch that they were able to bowl on and the batting they were facing as well, Tuffers.
Well, I mean, it's just happened all rather a bit quickly, hasn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't have minded having a little go on that 22 yards. I think the spinners would like to roll that up and take it around with them.
Yeah, and there's been another wicket to spin since with Zach Crawley caught off the shoulder of the bat, away in the offside trap by Fernando. Here's Bairstow. Now what's his approach going to be against Embledenia? Embledenia bowls. Bairstow is beaten on the drive, or push drive really, looking to guide that into the offside. The ball spinning past the outside edge, not taken cleanly by Dick Weller.
It's amazing just at the sort of differences in techniques, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, Joe Root.
Embledenia to Bairstow. Bairstow sweeps, good contact. Goes out towards deep back with square leg for a single. Blackmall is there.
That really was, looking back at it now, you know, with people falling left, right and centre, mental application, concentration, fitness, as well as actual batting technique, is just head and shoulders above the rest. I don't mean to be having a go at everyone else, but I mean, you know, he made it look an absolute piece of cake, didn't he?
Here is Embledenia bowling to Sibley, who's back into his stumps, playing into the offside, and there's no run. Well, Root 186 out of 344. I mean, in a way, it was the sort of... You remember Graham Gooch played that innings against West Indies, 154 out of 252. That was against the pace bowling attack of the West Indies. Down the pitch comes Sibley, digging out into the offside, out to Chandimal extra cover. So that was the masterclass innings against a pace bowling attack, and this was the masterclass innings against a spin attack with a high proportion of runs scored. 2 England captains leading by example. Here is Embledenia bowling, guided away by Sibley with an open face, soft hands as well, down towards slip, to the right of slip. No run. 20 for 1. Sibley on 4. Back with Embledenia to complete the over. Goes in now and bowls to Sibley, and Sibley gets the ball on his pads there. A bit of a free ball from the bowler, able to nudge it into the onside. Takes another single, his 5th single of the innings. 21 for 1, and so far for Sibley, not the alarms that we've seen in this series, where you'd feel as though he could almost be out any ball, but he's looked a bit more assured in this second innings. 21 for 1, 164 to win.
Well, they must. I know they wouldn't have had much time between first and second innings and what have you, or even test matches, but there must be lots of chitter-chatter and little tips going on, likes of Jack Callis and the coaching staff, and Joe Root as well. Just, you know, you've got to be a sponge as a batsman in this sort of circumstance, and you're just taking on board, getting experience, and putting it in the locker and storing it away for the next time you come across conditions and similar to this. So it's a great learning. You can't get a better, place to learn and improve yourself against spin bowling than this. It's as simple as that. I mean, really, really wonderful for the younger players just to drink it all in and become better players.
Yeah, and also watch the example set by Root as well, how he goes about it and how he succeeds.
Every young batsman in that team and around county cricket should be sat down and made to watch that.
Now Ramesh Mendis is into the attack, bowls to Sibley, and there's an appeal for LBW. That looks the most optimistic LBW shot I think I've ever seen. He was well outside the line, the ball's spinning up and hitting him on, I think, in the stomach area, thigh pad. Ball goes into the offside.
And he was serious there.
Yeah, he was. He really went for it.
Yeah, look, they've even got the timer on it.
I think if there's an appeal, I think they have
they just do it anyway.
Duty bound to put the timer up.
Yeah.
Mendis bowls a bit short that time, and Sibley's able to go back and brush it into the onside for another single.
You know when you're struggling when the bloke doesn't even put the timer up.
Well, just seeing the replay now, I don't think the timer should have gone up there.
No.
Well outside the line of off stump.
Optimistic.
But you're allowed to appeal, so.
Oh well, that's the only thing as a bowler you have up in your armoury, isn't it? You can ask the question.
22 for 1. Bairstow doing some gardening. While the sun on full beam out there. Cloud in the sky, barely cloud that I can see anyway.
Yeah, the umpires used to look at me in county cricket when I first started with a sort of a bit of a disparaging look.
What if you over-appealed?
Yeah.
Here is Mendes bowling to Bairstow, again a bit short, so Bairstow is able to rock back and flick it away with a roll of the wrists towards deep forward square leg this time.
Well, some of them actually used to sort of say to you, or say to the captain, your youngster's getting on my nerves a little bit. If he keeps appealing, I'm not even going to bother looking,
You don't want that from the umpires, do you?
No,
'Cause you might have one that's plum.
Well, exactly, and which I did turn around and say exactly what you said. Well, that's the only weapon I've got in my armoury.
Mendes bowls, Sibley backing up and spins down the leg side. Knocked down by wicketkeeper Dick Weller. That's the other thing as well with DRS these days. I mean, you probably shout for things that you might not have just shrug your shoulders at in the old days, because if you're right on the front foot, the umpire's not going to give them out, but a bit different these days. Mendes to Sibley again, too short. Sibley's able to ride it and knock it away towards deep backwards square leg. Too many free runs on offer here from Sri Lanka's spinners. 24 for 1.
Yeah, at least he's looked to get a bit of bat on ball and manoeuvre it a bit, Sibley, hasn't he? He looks like an opening bat against spin. If you just plop it on a line and length, he looks a little bit shotless. You've got to be able to manoeuvre the ball and rotate the strike.
He's on 7. I can see Fernando at short leg has got a stomach guard on.
Yes.
Here is one tossed up to Bairstow. Bairstow rides it towards Fernando at short leg. And that's the end of the over. It might be sort of adapted. It might be a chest guard that's been adapted to a stomach guard.
Well, it's
bulging out of his shirt there.
Yeah, he should have another one the other side and have the whole sort of tummy, because he's just got one side of. Actually, if you turn your side, it can hit it.
Right, England need 140 to win. 20 minutes to go until tea. They've lost 1 wicket. It's an interesting battle. It's been a fascinating day's cricket that's been bounding along. To take you to tea, Jonathan Agnew.
Yes, thanks, Simon. This is fun. It really is. Watching this, every ball is just gripping. And it's just what everyone needs, I think. It's, what's going on at the moment, just a bit of test cricket and the needle and the ebb and flow, and will England get over the line? All of that to get us through this Monday morning. There's a sweep from Sibley. That's a good shot. It's hit it away out towards deep mid wicket. Will it go all the way? It has done. Thumping into the boundary, and he'll grow in confidence every time he manages to get a boundary away. And that was a good hard hit sweep shot. Well in front of square.
Oh, and a no ball as well.
And it's a no ball as well, so it's a bonus. Just think that if 20 overs of Bairstow, just playing as, Bairstow's not playing sort of typical sort of brash Bairstow, but it's still positive Bairstow, isn't it?
Yes, firm shots, isn't it?
If he could bat 20 overs here,
yeah, well, you never know.
That would really
probably be done.
Break the back of England's run chase.
You just feel that England get the 3 figures, that it's kind of done, but you never know.
29 for 1. Sibley dips at the knees. Ebaldinho bowls to him. Sibley's right forward there, holding the pose of that defensive shot. Goes away for a stroll and a fidget, just to bide the time until Ebaldinho returns to the start of his run. They're bringing Matthews up from that deep position and putting him now at square leg, just in front of square. Slip and a gully as well, as Ebaldinho tosses it up into the rough. And Sibley plays it with a very open face.
Yeah.
I wanted to close the bat on that just in case it popped. Played it quite well, actually.
Yeah, could have got a sweep on there, as you say, really going down the leg side. That's where you can just get a little paddle sweep on. Nice to see him play that shot, though.
Yes.
That sweep shot early on in his innings.
This is tossed up and Sibley drives him, calls for a quick single, let him in off, and gets there as well as a fumble. That was a good piece of running, applauded by Jacques Callis.
Yeah.
Sitting on the balcony there, watching on.
He knows what they should be doing.
Yeah, well that's it, isn't it? Push run, take those singles, find those gaps.
Yeah, the odd sweep.
You're going to get a good ball, and Crawley's ball there was perfectly respectable. It's turned, bounced.
Yeah, gloves. If it spits at you and raps you on the knuckles.
Not a lot you could do about that.
Not really.
30 for 1.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Hope you've got the bright sunshine down there, tough as we have
glorious.
here. Beautiful morning
Yes.
here with all the white of the snow. 30 for 1, and there's a reverse sweep this time from Sibley, and that, I think, is going to be 4 runs. The fielder's already given it up. They haven't put a man back there for him. It's Bairstow, apologies. It 4 to Bairstow from the reverse sweep, and the man was up for the 1. And that's rather what I mean. He'll just play these shots that scatters the field.
Yeah, puts you off your rhythm.
Yeah.
Releases pressure. As a fielding side, you start just sort of like, the head just goes a little bit.
Yeah. And it becomes hard for the captain then. I need wickets. I've got to have men up. But that leaves gaps and runs flowing. And it's that difficult juggling act, isn't it, that Chandimal might face. 34 for 1. Back goes Bairstow, short this time. He's clubbed that away off the back foot. But there is a man out there with that red fire engine behind him on the deep point boundary.
Good player of spin, Johnny Bairstow. I know we've mentioned it a couple of times. Won't be on the plane to India. No. There's some questions to be asked all about that, I think, and the timing of the decision. I'm not sure they had to do it so early, you know. But it's sort of showing your hand a bit, isn't it?
It's showing your hand. There's also suggesting it's all premeditated and not dependent on form or anything like that. It's simply dancing down the pitch, and then it presents an enormous left pad at the ball, which bounces away into the offside. 35 for 1. Bairstow 8, Sibley 12. Andy Zoltzman's got his hand up.
A bit of pressure on Embledenia here. He's the only Sri Lankan bowler to have taken a wicket inside the first 80 overs of England's innings in this series, which is one of the almost innumerable problems Sri Lanka face as a cricket team.
Wow.
And I don't know if there's a way of measuring how effective a team is at releasing pressure on the batsman, but I think Sri Lanka will be up there, the all-time greats in this side. That said, Embledenia 7 for 137 in the first innings. The last time a Sri Lankan bowler took 7 for over 100 in a first innings of a test against England was Murali at the Oval, and he took 9 in the second innings to spin them to victory. So there's precedent if nothing else.
That was an amazing test match, wasn't it?
It was. I think I was left out of that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a sweep, catch it, they shout. It's gone high, down to deep square leg, and it's gone for 6, in fact. So this is Bairstow. Just 20 overs of the way Bairstow plays, and they'll break the back of this very quickly. But I'm just surprised it went for 6. Whether it was a bit top edgy or not, but there was a cry of catch it. I think the umpires are checking to make sure it did actually go all the way for 6. Downie on that knee, hammering it out. There's 2 men out there.
He's solid, isn't he, Johnny?
Oh yes.
Yeah, and when he plays a shot, he looks to get to the boundary.
So waiting for the replay of their ball landing. We've seen it hitting the bat.
Almost landed in a sponge or
it
something.
seems to have gone. What's happened to that? We've seen the ball.
Oh no!
And it's got white stuff all over it. And it's as if it's got white paint. Has it gone in the groundsman's?
A bucket of whitewash.
It's gone into the bucket of whitewash. Now I've never seen that happen before. Have you?
Oh my word!
It's gone straight in. The bucket that you see brought is absolutely soaked in it.
Oh, that's hysterical.
And so there's a bit of foam that's been used there to try and dry it off. Never seen that happen. So the groundsman's pots of paint have been left out in the sun just over the boundary edge. I suppose we can whip them out at short notice, and they've abandoned this ball. So we've now got the 4th umpire coming out with one of those nice little leatherette cases of replacement balls that they have. And that is incredible. That is a what happened next for you.
That is.
Well, actually, not doing it anymore. Sorry, Tuffers. Whoever takes over at Question of Sport, they'll get a head start here, because
they will. That's
off the top edge. There's a cry of catch it. It's gone flying towards the boundary. We think it's gone for 6. It'd be even better if it goes straight into the paint pot.
You should get 8 for that.
Well, you should. If it goes straight in, that would be remarkable. We haven't actually got a shot of that. All we've seen was somebody rather reluctantly fishing it out, trying to wrap it with a piece of foam sponge to clean it up, and the umpires have said, no, forget it.
It's been a game full of incident, hasn't it? It's been a series, as you say. England looking for the whitewash, and they're probably going to achieve it now.
Well, they found the whitewash there. Well, that is remarkable.
Oh my!
I just want to see, did someone capture that picture of how it actually got in the paint pot?
Well, Johnny Bairstow is a sort of white ball specialist now, I suppose, and he's he's trying to get it changed.
Now, the umpire's having a look at the ball and tossing it somewhere else. I think the groundsman might have to move his paint pot.
Of course he's got to.
You see the ball going under covers sometimes. You see it get a bit tangled up and disappear with rollers and so on, but never into a pot of paint.
Well, it's like at some of the grounds when they line up all their beers on the picket fence, don't they? All the cans and tins of beers going
That's
back
right.
in my day a little bit. And
Was that 4 or 6 after all that, Andy?
I think it was a 6.
41 for 1. This is tossed up by Mendes, and Bairstow blocks this. It was a 6, thank you. Come on, local TV production company. Someone must have a picture of that
Must
ball landing.
have. That is.
It went straight in.
I've never seen that. I've seen it land in pints of beer.
Yes.
And a few other sort of strange receptacles, but I've never seen it land in a pot of paint. Wow.
41 for 1. Here goes Mendes. Bowles, he drags this down. It's short, Bairstow doesn't do anything with it though. As it spin past into Dick Weller's gloves. 164 is the target for England to win this match. They're 41 for 1. And of course, this is only the 4th day, so the whole day tomorrow.
Yeah, might not get there.
They could rule a draw out anyway.
Yeah.
There's Mendes. Bowles, and he's swept him again. And he's swept him hard again. This time along the ground, there's a man out there. So protecting the groundsman's paint. And they've taken 2.
I remember talking to the over. I can remember when Mornay Morkel walked off and walked straight into the groundsman's hut here.
Oh, yes.
Shed. Yeah, I remember that.
Sort of open garage door there, isn't it?
It was. That was very funny. Head down.
They are interesting places, groundsman's sheds. If you like your gardening,
Yeah.
amazing implements in there.
I was walking round Old Trafford with.
It's Mendes bowling down the leg side, and Sibley can't do anything with that one either. So it's the end of the over. 42 for 1. 10 minutes to go till tea.
Yeah, with Varney. And do you remember during the bubble, you walked round there and you walked past that sort of covered bit, and there was all these machines there, weren't there? I think Michael fancied.
No, it's been beautiful condition as well.
Yeah,
spotless. Turned away into the leg side.
I think Mike was going to ask him where he got one for, the old sit-on mower for his backyard.
Very nice. Sibley 13 then, Bairstow 15. England have got to 43 at their target of 164. They've lost Crawley to a good ball, spun, bounced. It was taken by Fernando, diving to his left in the gully. Well, Crawley made 13.
Yeah, they're very proud of their pitches, aren't they? Their strips at 22 yards, they guard it with their life.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, when you've got all those thousands of pounds worth of cutting edge equipment in their machinery, and what do you see most often them bringing out is a plank of wood and a pot of paint and a paintbrush and a brush. And that's it, isn't it? See them sweeping around.
And a thumper.
Yep, they have absolutely. It was whacking things. Sibley forward as Endominia continues. Not quite the same snap. I'm going to put my neck out. He's not quite the same snap about it. He's bowled a lot of overs. He's had no rest. And he's batted.
Yeah, fingers a bit tired.
Just
not quite following through with as much verve.
Here he is again, bowling outside the off stump. It's short, put away by Sibley. To the man coming in from the cover boundary. There's a familiar red bus going round.
Yeah.
That's Gaul for you. Trundling slowly round the roundabout.
And I don't know whether they do it anymore now, John. Do you remember? I can remember when I was a youngster at Lord's. They used to be on their hands and knees, sort of scrubbing the pitch, didn't they? But I don't know whether they do that anymore.
I think they still do it at Lord's. I think Mick Hunt had them on his knees down there.
Yeah, they'd have one of those little sort of seat pads just to save the knees.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them, sort of scrub like doing the deck of a ship.
Yep, it's a wire brush, isn't it? 44 for 1. Bairstow on 15. Waiting now as Imbaldini bowls to him. Back goes Bairstow, trying to thread it through, and he does. Bit of a deflection there from the fielder. It's backed up in the deep. So one more run. 45 for 1. Bairstow playing busily.
Yeah, nice batsman are coming up. He's not going to get bogged down, is he?
No.
Good reader of the game as well, Johnny. Knows that Sri Lanka will be wanting to put pressure on and get a couple of wickets and cause the jitters in the dressing room. He's not letting that happen at all.
Look at Imbaldini's going for 5 and over.
Yeah.
So the runs are leaking, and Chandimal's having a word with him now. He's a bit concerned about this. What can we do? We've got to have men catching because we've got to get the batsman out. But at the moment, the runs is coming too freely. So shine on that particular ball. Not sure how they went about the selection process. Baldinia again bowls, and that carries on, hits him on the pad. I think it's a huge appeal for a catch. Dick Weller there, he's got his arms outstretched. Well, back it up with a review, I say, Mr. Dick Weller, because that looked to me to come straight off the thigh pad to slip. It's been given not out, and I think they are going to back it up with a review. Let's see. He was very confident.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time with old Dick Weller.
No.
He's not the most reliable witness round the bat.
But if this hasn't hit anything, which it didn't look as if it did, it will show an element, I think, of desperation. But we'll see. Perhaps they heard a noise that we couldn't possibly see off the television here. They're all watching the screen anxiously. I think we'll get an early clue. It seemed to me as if it just srushed on a bit.
Yeah, it skidded on.
And that's missed the bat by about a foot. I've probably exaggerated, but that is, you know. They'll have a look for the LBW as well, but that's high and leg side.
Give me altitude to confirm with the indie bat on that, please. Anyway.
They'll run through all the various technicals. No, he's missed that by miles.
Flat line in the bat. Ball passes the bat.
They were appealing for the catch.
Confirm no bat on that one.
Even though Dick Weller might be now going, no, I was after the LBW.
Dick Weller will go through the card, doesn't he? Look at the LBW appeal. That's missing. Although umpires call, it was actually closer for leg before wicket than it was for the catch.
Yeah, it was just shady.
Well, that's ridiculous. So they retained their review.
Yeah.
When they were appealing for a catch.
No screen now.
That's all very strange. But anyway, Sibley and Dick Weller having a conversation now.
He looks an interesting little chap behind the stumps, Dick Weller, doesn't he?
He does.
I wouldn't mind getting that. I wouldn't mind meeting him next time I come across him.
No.
He's obviously a lively lad.
45 for 1. I'd like to see a full. Well, just another replay of that. 45 for 1. And Baldinia bowls to Sibley, who's forward.
Better.
I don't check what they were. Here we go. Have more of a look at it here, I think. Let's see what they were. It bounced off the pad. It burns to the offside. Up they all go, appealing for a catch.
Yeah,
that's out.
Definitely.
That's out, and we're going to review it. We're so confident that's out. But what they got was an umpire's call for leg before wicket that they weren't appealing for. And that is bizarre. There's Sibley pushing into the offside. That is ridiculous.
I think Mickey Arthur's going to have to do a bit of work with this Sri Lankan team, not only on their batting and stickability, but also their.
But how should you get your review retained for something else that you weren't appealing for?
Oh, that was a bit of luck. Umpire's call.
There's been some strange things happening in this game.
There has.
But they were. That's why I wanted to see the replay again. They were absolutely categorically appealing for a catch, and Chandimal was running up, and he did I'll have a review sign while he was still holding the ball up.
Yes, the chap who caught it was the one who was going, oh, no, he wouldn't have caught the ball and then run up going LBW from second slip.
No. Well, that's another unusual one.
Yeah, there's been loads. First test there was a load, Zaggers, as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It's kept us on our toes.
Well, it does, and when there are spinners bowling and men round the bat and lots going on, then you tend to get these sorts of things, don't you? Pereira's on his way and then bowling his off spin, and the first ball is flicked away past short leg and out to deep mid wicket for a single.
He seems to have gone off the boil a bit. I can remember, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago looking at Pereira and sort of thinking, oh, he's a useful off spinner.
Yeah.
He just seems to have lost the knack a bit.
His recent numbers in Test cricket are appalling. Since England's last tour, he took 22 wickets in 3 tests. 14 average 80.
And he goes again now, bowls on off stump, Sibley forward.
He was a real threat in that series.
14 wickets in 9 tests, an average of 80 and an economy rate of 3.3, strike rate 144.
Yes, Pereira again. That again hits him on the pad. Dick Weller's away again.
No.
You can hear him.
Don't do it.
I think Pereira quite fancies it as well, the bowler, and he's looking for support.
Not getting much. They are having
They're reviewing this one. As well. I was just thinking while we wait for that, just say that previous one, Tuffers, had turned an inch less.
Yes.
And it was going to hit the leg stump. And so they showed the review. He's not out for the catch they were appealing for.
Where's the LB?
Then they just go through the motions to just check the LB, and they give him out leg before wicket. That would have been really bizarre, wouldn't it? Let's have a look at this. He's right back. It's up on the flap of the pad. Now I can see the leg stump from our angle here.
That's got to be going over, hasn't it?
Well, it didn't feel out from here, but Pereira liked it.
Well, he's about 6'2",
It's at the top of the flap.
I mean, he might get lucky. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't. Just didn't. You're right. Didn't feel right, but you never know. And in this position, Sri Lanka are clutching a little bit, so perhaps they're just looking for anything.
Well, I think definitely. But let's have a look at this. A review then, and it's impact in line, and it's umpire's call for leg before wicket for height. So again, review retained, but he sticks to the original decision, which is not out. It's getting a bit of that mess again, Sibley, which is where he was out in the first innings, of course.
Yeah. Well, you can see that he's been looking at the way Joe Root's played. He's got the sweep out, and he's trying to play it right off the back foot and late. So he's obviously been having a good look at the way Joe's been playing the spin bowlers. But it's that angle of the bat, and it's the hands.
Yes.
The hands when he's in his stance, then all of a sudden go really wide, and then the bat has to sort of come down at an angle to address the ball.
Pereira again, Burlstone is forward. Well, if you look at it, I know the catch-all was a bit strange, but he's actually had 2 umpires' calls for LBW the same way that he was dismissed in the first innings.
Yeah.
Been very, very close.
It's funny with the naked eye that you can almost judge an umpire's call, isn't it?
Yep. Here he is forward again. The ball bounces away into the leg side.
It just didn't look. Just looking at the replay there, it just didn't sort of look right, did it? Even though it's umpire's call just on the middle stump.
Yep.
But we just felt it was going over.
Again, Dick Weller's shouting and trying to get everyone organised there around the bat. But, anyway, Sibley hangs on. What a very strange course of events in that over as well. But, anyway, heading towards tea. In fact, that might be tea. I was going to check, see what's going on. Are they walking off?
Oh, they are.
I think they are walking off.
Yeah.
Because the 2 reviews in the course of that over has taken up the time. So it's 46 for 1 as England chase 164 to win this match, and therefore, of course, to take the Moose Cup. So 46 for 1. Bairstow and Sibley walking off together. Done a pretty good job there, but remarkable session in a way. 5 wickets falling for 105 runs. Of course, all but one of those were Sri Lankan wickets, but there's still the potential, very much the potential, for England to rue that partnership of 48 between Embaldenia, number 10, and Lackmell, number 9. Embaldenia comfortably scoring his highest first-class score of 40, and that in these circumstances could still prove valuable. He's taken the 1 wicket to fall as well as Crawley, caught by Fernando in the gully for 13. So some thoughts, Tuffers?
Well, just an amazing session of cricket, wasn't it? Beautifully bowled by England and sort of created the pressure, and Sri Lanka succumbing somewhat to it all, and then Johnny Bairstow's just gone out there and looked to be positive. 46 for 1. I think England would be delighted with that. You don't want to be going in a team sort of 20 for 3 or 4 or something. So yeah, England looking pretty good at the moment.
Thank you, Tuffers. They'll be underway at 9:30 our time here for the last session of the day. Overs wise, Andy's still there. Yes, he's got his headphones off actually. So it started off at, my maths is going to be hopeless here. It started off at 48. We've had 12, so 36 overs remain to be bowled today. There's 2.5 hours of play essentially, and then of course all day tomorrow as well.